This fork literally electrocutes you if you eat too fast.
I think it's great.
Will Tennyson, he likes the electrocution.
I got vibrated.
Next, hypnosis.
Why are you burning 65% more calories in this?
Let's explain why.
So the lymphatic drainage that's happening is also when it decompresses the air as well inside there, and then the infrared that you have on the side, the lamps as well.
Okay.
Okay. Coach Greg, in today's video, Will Tennyson, he's put on some weight and he's tried every single diet method in the world in order to take that weight off.
Ever since my bodybuilding show back in May, I've been putting on weight. Like a lot of weight. So that's why I'm gonna be spending the next week trying every weight loss method I can find, but it all starts with one of the most famous ways to lose weight. OMAD.
1 meal a day, 21 hours fasted right now, and it is getting so hard.
And so speaking of hard, harder than last time, you know what it's for. Code Greg 15% off. But in all seriousness, OMAD, it can work. If you like only eating 1 meal a day, then why not? So long as you're in a calorie deficit, whatever you do to get there, well, it's going to work. If you live a busy lifestyle, you're perhaps working all day long, you skip breakfast, you go to work, you don't eat until you get home, then I see nothing wrong with that. And so if you're the type of person that's thinking of food all the time and eventually you cave, you cheat, your Will Tennyson willpower, it runs out, then it ain't working. Will already admitted that he had a potato before his 24 hours was up.
At the grocery store right now, about to go in and get supplies for my feed, and I can't imagine this going well. This is gonna be like taking a recovering alcoholic on a wine tour. Like, I am one mood swing away from cannibalism.
One more problem. Even though you're only eating 1 meal a day, many people can eat more calories than they need in that entire day. If you're on a 2,500 calorie diet, and you eat 5,000 calories in your 1 meal a day, you're clearly going to gain weight. And so just because you're on OMAD doesn't mean the diet will work.
OMAD, 7.5 out of 10. Electric fork. I'm being serious. This fork literally electrocutes you if you eat too fast.
And so immediately know, this fork electrocuting device, this is not what we need. I mean, people already are angry at people for vilifying food. Oh, a chocolate bar is bad, a strawberry is good. Imagine if every single bite, it's electrocuting you if you eat too fast. This is going too far. And how many of us always are eating with a fork? Last time I had ice cream, I didn't use no fork. And half the foods that I'm eating it with my hands. An entire box of cereal goes like that. And so how many of y'all eating a protein bar with a fork? Slowing it down, how fast you're going to eat it. Clearly, it's not going to work. And so why not just have a protein bar? You're not going to eat this too quickly. And remember, it's low in calories, high in protein. And so even if you do eat the entire thing and another, you're most likely still going to lose some weight. Code Greg, 15% off.
I got vibrated. Now we wait.
I mean, why not just every time you have a bite, drink a sip of water? You take a regular fork, you take a bite, and you sip some water. Automatically going to slow you down, and the water literally is going to fill up your stomach, stretch it, and it's going to send satiety signals to your brain telling you that they're more full. There's so many simple techniques that so many people haven't even heard of. I mean, why not just add in some fruits and vegetables, some low-calorie dense foods, some watermelon? Every time you eat a bite of French toast, then eat a bite of watermelon. It's going to fill you up. It's going to slow it down how fast you're eating, and you are, in fact, going to lose weight. And while you're at it, get my friggin' cookbook, and you won't have to do all of this stuff. Low-calorie, delicious foods for the big eater. Again, code Greg, 15% off.
But in terms of the fork, I think it's great. If you're a fast eater like me, it teaches you to slow down.
Did he just say that this is great? And so Will Tennyson, he likes the electrocution, but he's a little kinky like that.
So I think this is actually really good.
Electric fork, 7 out of 10.
Anything over 5 is a pass. And so bro is into the OMAD. He's into the electric forks. He's into getting electrocuted.
Next up, a treadmill. Sort of. You'll see. I think the first thing that people think about when trying to lose weight is that they're never ever gonna see pizza again, but also treadmills. I hate them so much.
Yeah, and so Will Tennyson, what he did is he bought a Zwift racing bike, just like Coach Greg. And so we're hoping Will rides harder than last time so he can start racing Coach Greg in the Zwift bike races.
I hate them. But that might all change today.
And so if you hate a treadmill, ride a bike. Screw riding a horse, ride a cowboy, ride a freaking bike.
We're about to try a treadmill sauna, and saying that out loud sounds extremely dangerous, like something straight out of an anabolic Saw movie. But apparently it burns 65% more calories than a regular treadmill.
Let's put that into perspective. I can burn 1,000 calories in an hour without too much difficulty on my bike, and as well, I can do that while running for an hour. 65% more, it's 650 extra. 1,650 calories in an hour. That would put me at Olympic caliber champion cardio. I'll be burning as many calories as Olympic level athletes who are racing bikes, running, and so on. And so if this vacuum treadmill with pressure therapy can actually do this, well, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I would argue it's better than sliced bread. It's the best thing since we invented a wheel. No, better than that. It's the best thing since we discovered Ajuga Turkistatiki from Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum from Uzbekistan. It would be rivaling that. And if you're interested, code Greg, 15% off.
Like, this is so futuristic. Like, this is crazy.
So how many calories if I'm gonna do like 20 to 30 minutes?
700 to 1,000 calories.
1,000 calories?
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you guys know Will, but when Will has the wrinkles of the forehead and the squeaky cheeks pulling back, the mouth is not quite open. Will is holding his laughter in harder than ever before. He is one giggle away from bursting everything out all over his face. Will is a gifted actor, and he's doing his best not to laugh in disbelief. I just said I could burn 1,000 calories in an hour. He's saying you burn it in 30 minutes. And so twice as many calories as Coach Greg. And so way better than an Olympic champion athlete. The best athlete in the world, the person who won the Ironman competition. He couldn't burn that many calories, but yet this machine's going to do it. And so Will's listening to this and he's thinking, he's ready to explode.
Why are you burning 65% more calories in this?
Let's explain why. Let's give us the science-based answer so that we can all dissect it together.
Why are you burning 65% more calories in this?
So the lymphatic drainage that's happening is also when it decompresses the air as well inside there, and then the infrared that you have on the side, the lamps as well.
Okay.
Okay, none of that made sense to anybody in the world. Not a single human being understood what he said. Let's break it down in smaller bits.
The lymphatic drainage.
So the lymphatic drainage, you get a lymphatic drainage massage. Yeah. They rub the belly and they push down the fluids. Does that burn 1,000 calories by pushing fluids?
No, it just moves the lymph around.
It's moving the lymph around, which is some fluids. And just so you know, the lymphatic system, it's not like the heart. It's not pumping blood throughout. Your muscles, and when you breathe, it's squeezing on it, the milking action. And so fluids throughout the body, they go everywhere.
So when it decompresses the air as well inside there.
It's because it decompresses the air, the lymphatic drainage, it does that. I mean, there was no explanation. The lymphatic drainage, because it decompresses the air. And add to that, the infrared light, none of which burns calories. Not a single extra calorie was burned. It burns no fat. It burns no calories. It does nothing. It makes you sweat more. And so if you weigh yourself, you're going to be a little bit lighter because why? Well, you sweat more. And as soon as you drink some water or eat some food, you're going to gain that water back. Add to this problem. As you're running and you're in a heated environment, it's going to be that much more difficult to do the cardio at the pace you're accustomed to. You're running in a heated environment, and so you're running slower, which net result is you burn fewer calories, not more. I've done this in videos 5 years ago, explain the difference between running in a cool versus a warm environment. If you look at world records around the world, the marathon, for example, the records are set in cooler temperatures. If you're running and it's 30 degrees outside, or let's call it plus 90 Fahrenheit, you're not going to run as fast as if it's, for example, 15 degrees, or let's call it 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You burn more calories by sweating less. That's why when you go to the gym, I suggest you don't wear a sauna sweatsuit. You wear loose-fitting clothing or breathable clothing so that you're not hot.
So when it decompresses the air as well inside there, and then the infrared that you have on the side, the lamps as well.
Okay. All right.
Will, okay, all right. And he's already laughing and he's turning to the side. I mean, imagine if I were there. I'm not as nice as Will.
my God.
I would have been like, what are you talking about? Lymphatic system and infrared lights and decompression. Explain what that all is doing. I said, does any of this work? And then he was said, Greg, you're out the door. You're not using this YouTube video. At least Will was able to do the video so that I can react to it and call out the bullshit.
So I'm gonna do a 20-minute run, which I have no idea how I'm gonna last that long.
Well, you're going to last that long by practicing edging. This is what Coach Greg does. You get close, but you don't finish. And so when Will's running, you get close to your anaerobic threshold, but you don't surpass it, because if you do, you're going to feel the lactic acid burn and you're going to have to slow down. And so you go a steady state, perhaps zone 2, maybe zone 3. Avoid going to zone 4 and 5, and you will last much longer.
The moment the heat kicked in, it was obvious this is significantly harder than a normal treadmill. My heart rate was climbing faster, my breathing got heavier, and the effort level was way higher than what I'm used to at the same speed.
See what I mean? The effort he's putting out at the same speed is harder than he's used to. It's harder to go hard, if that makes any sense.
And right now, I think I'm struggling more with the heat than the actual cardio itself.
The heat is bothering him more than the cardio. And so you get my point. Why suffer? Get a fan.
A 750 to 1,000 in half an hour, if not more. The interesting thing is, on my Apple Watch, it only says I burnt 179 calories. Is that caloric inflation to get me hooked onto this?
Yes, exactly what it is. And so it's kind of like wholeflation, except it's burning extra calories. You inflate the amount of calories that the person's burning, and they'll see that and think, this is the machine that I want. I mean, for the average person who goes to the gym, if you went on a treadmill for 30 minutes and it said you burned 145 calories, are you going to keep doing it? In comparison, the other treadmill says you burn 650 calories. Which are you going to pick? And so typical treadmills, bikes, all the different pieces of equipment in gyms, almost all of them overestimate your calories burned by approximately 30%. Why do they do this? Well, what do you think is going to happen if the gym buys 5 of treadmills, 5 bikes, 5 steppers, and everyone is using the same exact piece of equipment, perhaps because it says they burn off 30 calories in an hour? Then they're going to buy more of those. People are going to say those bikes are better, those treadmills are better, because they see more calories burned. And so it causes the inflation of the value of the said cardio piece that overestimates calories. And so when you go to the gym, just because it says you burnt that many calories, doesn't mean you actually did.
Honestly, it feels like I just did an hour of cardio.
And so does anyone actually think that this is equivalent to doing an hour of cardio? That his heart got that much better? Of course not. And so all he did was suffer more because he was exercising in a hot environment. This machine should get negative numbers. It's -1 is the rating. It doesn't benefit you. It slows you down. You should never use it.
Because I'm still very skeptical of its accuracy, I have to give the sauna treadmill a 4.5 out of 10.
And so just so you know, anything under a 5 is a fail. And so he's not saying it's good. He gave it a 4.5. 4.5 doesn't mean 4.5 stars. It means failed. It's a -0.5.
Up next, hypnosis.
All right, Will. So I understand that you're here for healthier eating habits. Is that
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Okay.
This is equivalent to putting on a video from Coach Greg. You just listen to me, talk some sense into you, put the fork down, do 150 minutes of cardio a week, and exercise lifting weights twice a week. This is what's happening. He's going to convince him to eat healthy. I see nothing wrong with that. How is this bad? If perhaps you grew up and your parents were morons and they gave you junk food all the time, they didn't teach you how to eat healthy, and now you're eating unhealthy because, well, your parents raised you wrong. Well, I can now raise you right. And so Poppy Greg can explain to you how to do things right. If you want to go to a hypnotist, by all means, you can spend $200 an hour. They can explain to you, hey, eat this and eat that. Or you can press play on Coach Greg and chill.
Hypnosis. 7 out of 10. Mono diet. Mono means one, so I'm only gonna be having one kind of food today. The most common mono diet food is watermelon because it's high in volume and it's very hydrating.
Next up is the mono diet. It's where you can only have one of something. His food of choice, the watermelon. But here's the problem with monogamy, at least in terms of food. You're gonna get sick of eating the same thing over and over and over again. If you can only have one thing, it's not enough. It seems so much easier, in my opinion, to eat 25 different foods that are healthy that you like than to eat only just one. But hey, that's just me. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Es tiempo por español con Alejandra en 3 minutos. And until next time, I am out.